Hi everyone, my name is David White. I'm the Content Marketing Director at Connected Free. But today what I want to touch on is something that I blogged about probably around about 6 months ago on the Connected Free site. And that's about how to find new backlinks. So it may sound like a really simple task, right? Finding new backlinks to your site based on any campaigns that you're running or just catching any natural ones and reporting on them. But actually, based on what I've seen and people that I've talked to, I think people are missing a lot of links. People are probably not doing their own work justice. They're probably doing a lot better than they think they are, and they're just not capturing them all. And you want to understand all or as many of the backlinks coming through to your site. So traditionally, how it would kind of work is that you would go out with a link building campaign. You would push it out via emails, phone calls, Twitter, whatever it is, selling it into the journalists. And then you would track backlinks by link index tools like ahrefs or Buzzumo. The reason we kind of use them is because 99.9% of the time, journalists won't tell you when they cover a campaign. I mean, they're already super busy. So if you are fortunate enough for them to cover your campaign, they'll probably just put it live and then move on to the next story. So tools like ahrefs and Buzzumo, SEMrush and Majestic, you can input your domain or you can input the campaign page URL and you can see new referring domains coming through to that page. Just a quick note, it's always worthwhile putting in the actual main domain as well as the actual campaign page URL, because sometimes even though you have a campaign page, people might just naturally link back to the home page. So use them tools. The challenge we have with those tools, and by the way, the two that I use most often is ahrefs and Buzzumo. I find that Buzzumo's new link, the option where you have a look at the new links, it finds them the fastest, if that makes sense. So it finds them faster than most of the link index tools, but also use ahrefs because sometimes ahrefs will find one that Buzzumo miss and vice versa. So they're the two that I use. Another thing you need to be doing is Google searches, and it sounds really basic, but it's something that people don't do often enough. And when I say Google searches, I mean with search operators. So for example, you would have the speech marks around the brand name. So if I was building links to connectedfree.com, I would do connected free in speech marks, and then I would also do something maybe such as connectedfree.com. So it's looking for that exact phrase, and then you can change for the past 24 hours or past week or whatever time frame that you want to look at, and then scroll through the Google search results to see who has mentioned whatever it is that you're searching for. It's worth noting though that any really successful digital PR campaign will always naturally go national or international. So for the argument's sake, say you're running a campaign in the UK and say it goes viral and gets picked up by other national media, you can pretty much bet your bottom dollar that it's going to get picked up in other countries and in other languages. And the challenge you face then is that a lot of people won't reference the brand, but will maybe just talk about the campaign or maybe just link through to the campaign page. So then that search operator wouldn't work, whereas the link index tools would. So what I would recommend doing there is doing the search operators around key phrases that would have been used in the story that the journalist had written. Also try and look for, if you know for a fact that, like say for example, it's been picked up by an Italian site, look at the words that the journalists have used within that article and see if you can do search operators for exact searches on them surrounding search terms as well, to see if any other Italian sites have picked up the story but not mentioned the brand name. So Google search operators are a key one. The two search operators that I would use, or the ones that I use kind of daily for my clients, are the speech marks, so looking for the exact phrase, and I also do -site:. So for example, I would say search for connected free in speech marks, and then I'll do -site: connectedfree.com. So then what that's saying to Google is essentially look for everyone who's mentioning Connected Free, but don't show me Connected Free's site. And then you can start to see if there's any kind of people who've talked about you. Really great as well from a link rec point of view, because a lot of time people will have talked about you, but just not linked to you. And then obviously when relevant, you'll probably want to go chase them and get a link added if possible. Now, another couple of ways to kind of find new backlinks, and one that's hugely underrated is batch analysis. So batch analysis is a part of the ahrefs platform. It allows you to put in, I think it's up to 200 URLs, and it will show you all the links that are pointing through to each URL. So for example, if you put in 200 URLs, how many links each one of them URLs has got. Now, the reason we do that is because, say for argument's sake, we've landed a placement on the Daily Mail, okay? That's going to be read by millions of people, or hopefully it's going to be read by millions of people. And a lot of them might be journalists, and a lot of them might think, well, I'm going to write about that story. But they might link to the Daily Mail rather than linking through to you or to the original source. And again, if relevant, you're going to want to go to that site and ask them to update the link to your campaign page or to your website if possible. So every time you find a placement, doesn't matter how big or small it is, it doesn't have to be national media, make sure that you're checking the backlinks to that page as well. You'll understand that it can sometimes take a little bit of time for them to find the links. So if you run a campaign in, say, January, and then you're checking every 2 weeks, so you check halfway through January and you check at the end of January, also make sure you check in the following months as well, because sometimes you may have done a campaign in January, but the link index tool may not have picked up the links pointing through to them, to the placements that you placed for a month or two later, and obviously you'll want to, if possible, go back and ask them to update. Now, another key one is social listening. So social listening is essentially, there's a million tools out there. I've done a blog on this again a few weeks ago. I did a blog on the best social listening platforms on Connected Free Site. We use Linkfluence, but you can use other tools like Brandwatch or Pulsar. There's millions out there. A quick Google search will show you all the social listening platforms, and obviously get a trial and see which one suits your needs the best. But essentially what you can do is you can input topics, you can input the brand, you can input keywords, search terms, whatever, into social listening, and it will show you people who have talked about whatever it is that you've inputted across social media, across forums, across reviews, across editorial, across comments. And again, really good from an international perspective as well, picking up international sites. So every day I would go in, I do go in, should I say, and put in my clients. And it works very similar to how Google search operators work in terms of a Boolean kind of query. And I would have a look to see who's talking about them. Now, sometimes you'll find somebody has tweeted something about the campaign. And you'll go on that and you'll realize that somebody has tweeted the link out, which you won't even have found or won't even have discovered. So it picks up so many more kind of channels, which allow you to find people who are talking about your campaign or your brand. And again, you can go in, check if it's got a link. If it's got a link, brilliant, report on it. If it doesn't have a link, can you get one added? Can you find the journalist's contact details, and can you get that added? And finally, what I also do is referral traffic in Google Analytics. Now, I know that, I think I read something a few weeks ago that they were thinking of taking this away, but it's still there at the moment. But you can go into all pages under behavior in Google Analytics, change on the advanced section, change the URL structure to / whatever the campaign page is that you've got. So say, for example, you were building links to connectedfree.com / David White, you would do / David White, and it will show you all the traffic that has landed on that page. You can then break down and show full referrer, and it will show you where the traffic has been sent from. Now, this is really cool for a couple of reasons, because again, it finds you brand new links, but it also shows you which links have had the most impact, because it will show you the links that have driven the most traffic. You will also sometimes, this actually happened to me only this morning, be able to see links before they go live. For example, I had a story about Malta, and the Times of Malta are covering the story, and I can see referral traffic coming from their CMS. Clearly that's when the journalist has been writing the article and has scheduled it to go live, and they've obviously clicked on the link or they've done whatever but landed back on my client's site. So referral traffic in Google Analytics is a really key one for finding new links. Now, all of this may seem quite intense, it may seem quite a lot of work, but honestly you just have to do it every day. I think as being a good digital PR or a good link builder or whatever you want to call us, it's about having the ideas, it's about being able to do the execution, but it's also about being able to see the full picture and find as many links as possible. So I would recommend you do this daily. And once you get into the swing of it, you know, you can kind of automate different things. So you can set up like social listening reports and things like that, so you're not always typing in. Once you get into the swing of it, you'll realize that it only really takes 10 or 15 minutes, but it's so crucial. I would say that on average for our clients at Connected Free, using this kind of tactic, a batch analysis, as well as referral traffic, as well as social listening, as well as link index tools and Google searches, we find maybe 10 to 15 extra links per client per month. And obviously you want to make sure that you're reporting on that and learning from it and adding it into whatever kind of reports or post analysis you do after your campaign. But that's kind of how we do it at Connected Free. I would be interested in hearing your thoughts if there's any other ways that you find new links. But like I say, it seems like a really simple topic, finding new backlinks, but actually super, super important. And a lot of what I've just mentioned, I know that a lot of people don't do. So if you don't do it, do start doing it, because you probably built a lot more links than you realized. Thanks for listening. I'll share a link in the comment to the blog post that I wrote about finding new links, and speak to you soon. Stay safe.